turning on my camera because I'm still setting up. I was stuck in traffic. You know, the traffic between Sandton, Johannesburg, and Centurion can be so bad at times. But thank the Lord, we made it here today. So, Madam President, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, audible.
Ah, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Well, thank you so much. And it is such a great pleasure for me to be your Toastmaster of the evening at Gaborone Toastmasters Club. As the Madam President mentioned, I will be running through the program today with our meeting themed Resilience in Action. And along the meeting, I will reflect on what does the resilient in action means to me. But before I do that, I would like to call upon our immediate past president, Toastmaster Tumelo Mapalala, to give us the toast of the day. Over to you, Madam IPP.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, Mfundo. I think it's worth noting that the journey of empowering ourselves and learning public speaking is one of resilience. And tonight our toast is exactly in that regard. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses, or in my case, my water bottle, to resilience, the quiet strength that carries us through trials, the courage that turns setbacks into lessons, and the action that transforms growth into reality. May we continue to rise, not in spite of challenges, but because of them, to resilience in action. Cheers. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tumelo. You know, when you talk about resilience, I think of my journey in life. As a brief introduction, I was born in a rural area in the Eastern Cape, and through resilience, I am currently now a resident of Gauteng, City of Gold. But with that said, I would like to call upon my fellow drivers in this session tonight, and I'll start with our timekeeper to give us their responsibilities. Timekeeper is Toastmaster Committee.
Our timekeeper is still on the way. Maybe we can move to another row. Hopefully they'll be here by then.
Awesome stuff. Then let's call upon our counter. Our counter is Toastmaster Khalaletsang Mutusi.
Yes, good evening. I will share my screen later on. I'm currently also driving. Yeah. So good evening again, Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause fillers when one is giving a speech. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words such as but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including and eh. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase, such as this means or for instance. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Our counter. You know, in resilience in communication often means identifying our work spots and working on them. And our counter today will help us notice those filler words so we can grow stronger as speakers. Now, that said, I would like to welcome our grammarian. Sorry, I'm running in between the agenda and my cell phone here. Our grammarian is Toastmaster, or there's no grammarian on the agenda. Madam VPE, do we have any grammarian confirmed?
I'll take the grammarian's role.
Thank you so much, Madam IPP. Please welcome Madam IPP again on the virtual stage to give us the
Thank
roles
you.
responsibility.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening once again. Tonight I will be taking the role of grammarian. As grammarian, my role is to take note of the use of the English language. That is both the stellar and impressive use, as well as the not so correct use, and deliver a report at the end of the night. My role also includes introducing the word of the day. The word of the day today is phlegmatic. Phlegmatic is an adjective meaning having an unemotional and calm disposition, especially in situations that may otherwise cause stress or excitement. Examples of its use in a sentence is, despite the chaos around him, the leader remained phlegmatic, guiding his team with steady composure. Her phlegmatic response to the criticism showed remarkable emotional control. And one last example, a phlegmatic mindset can be a strength in high pressure environments. I implore you to use the word of the day, and I will also take note of how many times each and every one of us uses the word of the day and deliver it as part of my report. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster, grammarian of the evening. Now, that said, for the Toastmasters, the next role is Hackmaster. Our Hackmaster for the evening will be Toastmaster Asalapele. I'm sorry for pronouncing that name wrong. Toastmaster Asalapele Banda.
Good evening, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Will be the hack master for the day. What my role involves is to listen and compile information during the whole meeting and run a quiz at the end of our speeches. Basically, this ensures that everybody who's attending the meeting is actively listening. So you have to actively listen, not just to the speeches, but everything that happens during the meeting. You might just be quizzed in anything throughout the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asalapele. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asalapele. You know, resilience requires attentiveness, being present, being engaged, even when distracted. And that's what our Hackmaster just explained. And thank you so much, Toastmaster Asalapele, for keeping us resilient listeners. Now, our last role that we'll be introducing tonight is our general evaluator, which is our current president, Toastmaster Leya Musunga.
Good evening once again. And as the general evaluator, my role is to evaluate the meeting from the beginning to the end, and also to chair the evaluation session when called upon. Since our timer is still not yet on the call, I will serve as timer in the meantime. So let me just get into that particular role. So the timer of the meeting basically times what happens during the meeting. So for our speeches today, we have, I think one of our speakers has been having some technical challenges. So we have 3 speakers who are giving speeches from 5 to 7 minutes. So when they reach the minimum time, which is 5 minutes, I'll share the green. When they reach 6 minutes, yellow. And when they reach the maximum time, I'll share the red, indicating that they've got 30 minutes to wrap up. For the table topic session, when the speaker reaches the minimum time, which is 1 minute, I'll share the green, 1 minute 30, yellow, and the maximum, which is 2 minutes, I'll share the red. For evaluators, they've got 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll share the green, 2 minutes 30, yellow, and at 3 minutes, red, indicating you've got 30 seconds to wrap up. My hand will be raised so that all the speakers can be able to identify the timer. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Leya. With that said, for the Toastmasters, we have explained all our roles. Now we are getting into the gist of the evening, our prepared speeches. And with our prepared speeches, the first speaker is Toastmaster Chandada. Toastmaster Chandada will be evaluated by Toastmaster Sekhabo. I would like then to welcome Toastmaster Sekhabo on the virtual podium to introduce the project that Toastmaster Chandada will be attempting tonight.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Mfundo. My task today will be to evaluate Chandada Nkhwalume, who is undertaking her second speech, which is titled The Power of Being a Beginner. Her learning pathway, sorry about that, thought I written that somewhere. Her learning pathway is dynamic leadership, similar to mine. The project's purpose is to learn or review basic methods of writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic that she chooses. The member will complete this. The member is going to work on writing this, has worked on writing this speech, and it should be well organized, well delivered, and have either a humorous, informational, or any style that she chooses. Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Mfundo.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sekhabo. Sorry, I'm trying to familiarize myself with the
You
Tswana
did very
names.
well.
You will forgive me. Thank you. Now, with the speech titled, just a sec. With the speech titled, sorry, The Power of Being a Beginner. Fellow Toastmasters, let's welcome Toastmaster Chandada with a speech titled, The Power of Being a Beginner. Over to you, Toastmaster Chandada.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Not just something new, but something where you had absolutely no idea what you were doing. For me, it was salsa dancing. Picture this: 2 left feet, awkward claps off beat, and a look of sheer panic every time someone spins me around. It was uncomfortable. It was humbling. And it was one of the best experiences I've had in years. Today, I want to talk about something we often avoid: being a beginner. We celebrate mastery, but we forget that mastery begins with messy, uncertain first steps. And here's where phlegmatic resilience comes into play. When you start something new, you're not just learning a skill, you're developing grit. Think about learning how to ride a bike, for example. I'm sure you fell, you scraped your knees, but you got back up. And each time you did, you became more phlegmatic in your persistence. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure. It's about having the quiet, determined strength to keep going, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable. As adults, we tend to avoid the uncomfortable, phlegmatic feeling of being a beginner because it forces us to conform or confront our vulnerabilities. But starting something new forces you to keep going, even when it's hard. That's resilience in action, and that's powerful. Experts can become trapped in routines. Beginners ask questions. We all know this. We've been there before. They challenge assumptions. They're not afraid to say, why do we do it this way? And that is where they differ from the experts. The beginner mindset can lead to innovation and creativity because they probe, they ask questions. And in that phlegmatic calmness of inquiry, we unlock new possibilities. Beginners with their fresh perspective often see things that seasoned experts miss because they feel they're experts. They don't need to keep asking, why do we do that? Or can we change this? Why is it done that way? So they aren't really constrained by the way things have always been done. Some of the world's greatest breakthroughs, they didn't come from experts. If you just take a minute out to think about it, they actually came from curious minds like mine and yours, beginners who dared to see things differently. Their resilience was quiet and unshakable, like the phlegmatic persistence that allows us to push beyond that needle, push those boundaries, push through the glass ceiling with humility and open mindedness. Let's face it, we are like being good at things, it feels safe, it feels comfortable. But when we're always the expert, we lose that touch, that sets us apart. With what it feels like to learn, to struggle, to ask for help. Being a beginner keeps us humble. It reminds us that every expert was once a novice. And in staying connected to that process, we build empathy. We remember that it's like what it's like to feel awkward and uncertain and have that feeling of, oh no, what if I do something wrong? Oh no, will I be able to do it like the next person? And in staying connected to that, don't forget, we build empathy. And like I said, we remember how it feels to feel awkward and uncertain. We become better leaders, better colleagues, better friends, and even better partners. But more importantly, yes, even better Toastmasters. Being phlegmatic, being a phlegmatic beginner means embracing discomfort with grace. It's the resilience to be okay with knowing it all and humility to grow through the process. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, here's my challenge to you. Pick something, anything, and be a beginner again. Learn to dance, try coding, take up painting, try stand-up comedy, or keep giving those speeches. That will push you out of your comfort zone. You'll stumble, you'll feel awkward, but you'll also grow. And in that growth, you will discover a truth we often forget. Being a beginner isn't something to be ashamed of. It's something to celebrate. It's something to be phlegmatic about. Steady, quiet, and resilience in the face of uncertainty. Thank you.
So Toastmasters, let's give Toastmaster Chandada a big round of applause. Po, 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 po. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chandada, for such a clear and insightful speech. You know, resilience is really indeed fueled by hope and determination, but it is sustained, pragmatic, calm, focused, and confident, no matter what lies ahead. And your words encouraged us all here to keep moving with the strength despite the challenges. Thank you so much for that. With that said, for Toastmasters, our next speaker is Toastmaster Bontle Dickson. Toastmaster Bontle will be evaluated, or the speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Tumelo Mapalala. Toastmaster Tumelo Mapalala, welcome to the virtual stage to give us Toastmaster Bontle's speech papers.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. My apologies, I'm sitting in the dark. I've been load shed, but tonight I have the pleasure of evaluating Toastmaster Bontle Dickson as she pursues the Persuasive Influence Pathway, Level 1, Project 3, Introduction to Body Language and Vocal Variety. The objective of this project is for Bontle to practice using both vocal variety and body language to enhance a speech. I will be looking out for both elements and I will deliver a report within my evaluation. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tumelo. With a speech titled, "As Long as You Don't Put Your Hands Down, There Will Be Victory." Let's welcome Toastmaster Bontle. As long as you don't put your hands down, there will be a victory. Over to you, Toastmaster Bontle.
Moment. 3 out of 5 people around you are going through a difficult. Could be your mom, could be your dad, could be your friend. I am also one of the 3 people out of the 5 who is around you, who is currently going through a difficult situation. I realized that I have a phlegmatic mindset. Discovered this week because of the little situation that I'm going through. Really know that you have a situation that requires you can never really truly develop resilience if you have never been in a situation. I am a big fan of experiential knowledge. The situations or the hardships that we go through, they shape us and they refine us. And this experiential knowledge that we carry forward to the next season of our lives sets us apart for success. Now, I have 2 questions for you. Have you ever been in a situation where when you sat down and you looked around yourself, you just didn't see a way out? Have you ever been in a situation where everything that you had built in either of these situations, I have a story to tell you. My mother told me a story, and myself, it was about a woman in the Bible. Her name was Hannah. She was a barren woman who could not have a child. For many, many years, she was without a child. She longed to hold a little baby in her own hands, to nurse him and to nurture him as he grows. But that dream looked a bit far-fetched and too far to reach because she could not have one no matter how hard she tried. In the midst of that heartbreaking story, she had a rival, a second wife of her husband, who mocked her day and night for being unable to have a child. Now, what I really, really love about her phlegmatic nature is how she often went to the temple to pray to the God she knew, to bless her and to open her womb so that she can have a child. Year after year, she went on to the temple to go and pray to have a child of her own. In the midst of the mockery, in the midst of the heartbreak, in the midst of a dream that she wished to possess that seemed a bit too far, she did not give up. She was resilient. She kept calm and she prayed until one day a man of God came and said, "What you have been praying for all these years has been now granted." And now Hannah, after all these, she had a child of her own. And that child, guess what? He became one of the greatest prophets ever written about. What am I getting at? If only we can learn to have a phlegmatic mindset and look for the lessons in the situations that we are in, we can be able to make sure that we do not give up. And as long as you do not put your hands down and give up, there will be victory. Imagine this. What if Hannah gave up because she was mocked and she stopped praying? Would she have held little Samuel in her hands? I don't think so. But because she did not put her hands down, she had victory. I am just here to tell you that no matter what, look for the lessons in a difficult situation that you are in. Learn how you can refine yourself. In difficult situations, there are certain emotions, a certain mindset that will be exposed to you. For example, pain, fear, anxiety. Learn how you can refine those emotions so that in the next season of your life, you are a refined and phlegmatic individual ready to take on any challenge. Because in life, challenges are always going to present themselves before us, even though we do not ask them to. So it is within our means to make sure that we remain phlegmatic, resilient, and we take the lessons on to the next season and we keep pushing. Thank you very much.
We are muted, sir.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bontle. Your message showed us that resilience means keeping our hands up and spirits strong until victory comes. This message was shared in such a pragmatic and steady way. And with that said, fellow Toastmasters, let's give Toastmaster Bontle a big round of applause. Fellow Toastmasters, our next speaker is Toastmaster Leya Musunga. Toastmaster Leya Musunga's speech will be evaluated by my brother Nkhwalume. And at this point in time, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Mzamo to give us Toastmaster Leya's speech objectives. Over to you, Mr. Mzamo.
Good evening, Toastmaster of the day. You're doing a stellar job. Thank you very much. And today I have a pleasure of evaluating Leya Musunga's speech. For those who are visiting us for the first time, you must know that we are not evaluating Leya, but we are evaluating her speech so that we all learn from what we will be when we give the report later on today. Without any further ado, Leya is attempting or pursuing her motivational strategies pathway. She's on level 3 and she's doing elective number 1, and which is inspire your audience. Well, this particular pathway is self-explanatory, but the purpose, the objective, and the main objective of this project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires us. Therefore, let's sit back and be inspired. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mzamo, with a speech titled The Foundation. The Foundation, Toastmaster Leya Musunga.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Think of the best leader you have ever encountered, whether it's a boss, a coach, a teacher. What is the first word that comes to your mind when you think of that person? Chances are you probably thought strong, decisive, inspiring. Underlining some of the words you may have thought about this great leader that you have encountered is one critical foundation, and that is confidence. It can be said that confidence is the bedrock of effective leadership and communication. It can be the difference between a plan that gathers dust or a plan that is executed and everybody flourishes. When I first encountered Toastmasters, I was struggling with low self-confidence. At that particular time, I was serving as the treasurer of my local church. And every once in a while, I had to stand in front of 100 to 150 people and present the financial records. My prayer would always be, no one should ask me questions. And even after presenting, if you asked me afterwards what I said, I could barely remember anything. My thoughts always felt so jumbled. I was very scared standing in front of that audience. When my friend invited me to Toastmasters, and I was able to see how confident and how eloquent she was when presenting, I knew this was the environment that I needed. I quickly registered and presented my first speech 2 weeks later. I must confess, I was terrified. I normally go to work wearing high heels, and that day, the meeting was straight after work, so even though I drove straight there, I had packed a pair of flat shoes because I was afraid of falling down when giving my icebreaker speech. 2 projects that I encountered as I was giving my speeches. The first one was how to deal with a difficult audience. This project helped me to be able to navigate questions or when people are disturbing you when you are doing a presentation. I then did the question and answer session project. With that one, I was able to gain the tools of how to deal with questions in a meeting and how to better respond. Proof in the pudding, when we eventually had our AGM a few months later, one of my friends came up to me and said, "Wow, Leya, the way you handled those questions, I was so impressed." I knew that I had built that foundation. 3 things that I can share with you that can help you. Because one thing you need to understand, confidence is a muscle, not a miracle. Number 1, start small. Whenever you have an opportunity in a meeting, you can speak up. As that old quote says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. So start small with that first step. Second, listen to learn, not to respond. Epictetus once said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth because we need to listen twice as much as we respond. Basically, don't be threatened by new ideas. You will encounter people giving you feedback of what you need to do to be better. Always be willing to listen. The third one, do the work. Basically, be prepared. Competence builds confidence. Socrates once said, the secret of change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but in building the new. One thing I definitely realized after my experience is that confidence is the unshakable foundation upon which we can achieve extraordinary things. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, you may be here and wondering, how do I take that step to achieve the goals that I want to achieve? I hope today will be the start when you will lay your own foundation. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Leya. You reminded us that resilience is built on strong foundation. I loved how you said that you were terrified when giving your first speech. Yet tonight, you're giving us a nugget how to build that resilience. You stood before us here, pragmatic and composed, showing how far resilience can carry us. With that said, fellow Toastmasters, let's give Toastmaster Leya another big round of applause.
Woo!
Po, 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 po.
Ba-ba-ba.
With that said, fellow Toastmasters, our next speaker is Toastmaster. Give me a sec, I'll tell you now. Toastmaster Salfina. Toastmaster Salfina speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Tumelo. Toastmaster Tumelo, I'd like to welcome you on the virtual podium.
Sorry, Toastmaster of the evening. We've lost Salfina to load shedding.
Okay, cool. No, thank you so much for that. Now, what do we do? Do we continue with the agenda?
Yes, please.
Awesome stuff. Now, let's continue, fellow Toastmasters, with our agenda. Our next agenda item is the timekeeper's report by Toastmaster Unkemeti.
I will share the timing
Toastmaster?
report. Since
Oh,
I will
sorry,
share the
sorry,
timing
yes,
report.
okay, cool. Please say
Since
it,
I
Madam
was
President.
taking the time. So
Thank you.
our first speaker for the evening, that was Chandada. She spoke for 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Our second speaker, Bontle, spoke for 6 minutes and 4 seconds. And I spoke for 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Thank you. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much for sharing that report. I see my agenda now. There is voting. Do we have our polls ready for the best effort speaker?
Yes, the polls are ready, and I will launch the one for best effort speaker.
Awesome. Let's vote, 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 vote. You will let me know, Madam President, when the voting is done. Then we can continue.
Okay, yeah, we're sitting at 56%, 69. So normally once we get to about 80, then we would generally, well, I'm 73. So we just need a few more votes and then the poll will
Let's
close.
vote, 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 vote. Your vote is your voice.
Okay, we just need we're sitting on 78, just need a few more votes, so the poll will, okay, we'll just give it 15 more seconds, then we will close the poll.
Awesome.
Okay, so I think our poll is done. You may continue.
Thank you so much, Madam President. Fellow Toastmasters, resilience is not only about planning. It is often shows up when life surprises us. And in Toastmasters, there's no better way to practice resilience than through this session now that we're about to get into, table topics. This session challenges us to think on our feet, stay calm, and remain pragmatic, even when we don't know what's coming next. And to lead us through this section or segment, please join me in welcoming our table topics master, Toastmaster Chandada, on the virtual stage. Let's give Toastmaster Chandada a big round of applause as they are coming to the virtual stage.
Good evening once again. Good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm excited to be your table topics master this evening. Our theme for today is resilience in action, how we persevere, adapt, and grow stronger through adversity. The word resilience itself carries so much meaning, and tonight we'll explore it through impromptu speaking. Each of our table topics today will form the word resilience, with each letter representing an important aspect of resilience. Without further ado, let's dive in and see how you can connect with the power of resilience. Do we have any first takers?
We have a hand from Zamo.
Please go ahead, Mzamo. Pick a letter. Pick a letter. I've got Resilience.
I said R for Rama.
R.
Yes, for
Okay, so
Rama.
today, our R represents to reflect. Think about a moment in your life when you faced a tough challenge. What did you learn from that experience and how did it change you? I'll go again. Think about a moment in your life when you faced a tough challenge. What did you learn from that experience and how did it change you?
Wow, thank you very much, Madam Table Topics Master. I wish I chose L. Maybe it was gonna be easier. Reflect, and what did it teach me? Well, I cannot say only one experience, and I will not choose one because getting closer to my 50th birthday in a couple of years' time, I have had many experiences that forced me to sit back and reflect and learn from what happened. So my take on the word reflect or on experiences and what they teaches us is that once you are honest with yourself and take time to have a conversation with self on any situation that you have faced or that I haven't faced, it has helped me to realize that it's not always the third party or the other person, but it's me that is in charge of me. Therefore, blaming others and situations really do not. Therefore, whenever I reflect, I look at what is it that I've done, what was my contribution, and what could have I done better in life. That's how I am resilient in my daily struggles. Thank you very much, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, Mzamo. That was our R. Reflect. Any second takers? I promise you they're very easy. Yes, Bontle. Please pick a letter. We have Esilience, which is your lucky pick.
I'm gonna go for the letter S.
For the letter S. The letter S represents strength. Strength. So we often find inner strength when we need it the most. Can you share an experience where you discovered a strength in yourself that you didn't know existed? I will go again. We often find inner strength when we need it the most. Can you share an experience where you discovered a strength in yourself that you didn't know existed?
A year ago, someone very, very close to my heart did something terrible to me. So it required a lot of strength, inner strength from my end to actually forgive that person. It really expected to happen, but it did happen. So the ability to forgive within you and the ability to face that person again and have a normal . conversation without conflict and strife takes a point, an area in my life where I realized I had strength was the time I had to forgive a person close to my heart. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Bontle. It does take some strength, hey? Any other volunteer? We still have a couple more letters left. Sekabo, come through.
I'll take the letter C.
The letter C. The letter C signifies courage. Courage is a vital part of resilience. Can you tell us about a time when you had to summon the courage to face a challenge or take a risk?
Okay.
Courage is a vital part of resilience. Can you tell us about a time when you had to summon the courage to face a challenge or take a risk?
All right. When I was 7 years old, I was bitten by a dog. I used to be a very huge dog lover, and being bitten by one of our family dogs really scared me. After spending the better part of a week being injected with anti-rabies, I had to finally go home because this dog bite happened at my grandmother's house. When I had to enter ko jarateng ya ko lapeng, I saw my dogs that have always loved me and had been nothing but good to me, and had this fear, this sinking pit in my stomach that something bad was going to happen. After that, every morning when I'd have to wake up and go to school, I'd think to myself, is this the day that somebody or something that I trust is going to betray me again? Every morning, my mom would walk me out, or my brother, or my father, but I couldn't do it alone. Fast forward to one Saturday morning, and everybody's playing on the street, and I'm stuck in the house because batho ba ile gae. I'm alone, and there's nobody to help me go out. I summoned the courage. I took one step outside the door and sat down and called them. Jokey, Jackie. Don't worry why they have the same name. But they did, and they came over, and with nothing but love, they licked my cheeks. I realized that these are my friends. And because something bad happened one time shouldn't define my opinion about dogs. To this day, I'm still a dog lover, and I'm grateful that I summoned the courage to step out of the house that day.
Awesome. Can we please have volunteers from our guests? Any guests willing to take a table topic? Any hands from the guests?
Kosego has raised the hand.
Oh, sorry, I can't see hands for some funny reason. Come through.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you today?
I am
So,
doing well.
awesome. We've got E, we've got I, there's L, there's another I, and another E, and an N, and an E. Which letter are you going for?
Mzama said he suspected L was easier, so I'll go with L.
You'll go with L. And indeed, L is for learning. So, failure is often a key part of resilience. Share a story about a time you failed but gained valuable lessons that helped you bounce back even stronger. Failure is often a key part of resilience. Share a story about a time you failed but gained valuable lessons that helped you bounce back even stronger.
Thank you. Throughout my life, I was afraid to try things out. This concept of learning from failures, I learned later in life. An example that I would give, I don't know what example I would give, but I would just like to say that we learn a lot from failure. As you said in your speech, in beginnings are where we learn, are where we get to grow. And I've come to really appreciate exploring and trying out new things and pushing myself to limits that I have not been able to reach before. So that is something that I am now embracing. I am challenging myself. I am volunteering for things I'm not used to. For instance, I've recently volunteered to be a VPE in eloquent speakers, which is something that I've been terrified to do. I've been terrified to try out being a leader, but I am learning and I'm growing, and it's just blissful. Thank you.
Yay! Awesome, Rosero. That takes quite a lot of courage. Do we have any more takers? Latile, would you like to have a go? Okay.
Not today, please.
Hi. No problem. Victoria?
Good day, team.
Hello.
Today is not a good day for me. I'm having a very bad network.
Okay. No problem.
I'd like to volunteer, Sitsili.
Sitsile, are you available?
Hello.
Hello.
Can I pass it today next time, please?
No, you
Okay.
can't.
Jokes.
Leya, would you want to have the last go?
All right. Yes, I can do that. Yes.
We have an E, an I, another E, an N, and another E.
I can do E, the last E.
The last E. Awesome. The last E represents empowerment. Resilience empowers us to be the best version of ourselves. Share an experience where you felt empowered by overcoming a challenge and how it helped you grow. Resilience empowers us to be the best versions of ourselves. Share an experience where you felt empowered. Share an experience where you felt empowered by overcoming a challenge and how it helped you grow.
Thank you very much, Madam Table Topics Master. I know in this room, there must be people who are avid road runners. At one point, I used to be one of those people. When I see people running in the streets, I would be saying, "Who's chasing you? Don't worry, they won't catch you." until the day I discovered my BMI was too high and I needed to take steps to lose some weight. I started off by walking and running a little bit, and I realized that I wasn't making much progress. I then approached a friend of mine who's an avid runner to ask for some advice and maybe to coach me on being one of the people being chased. Over a certain period, she slowly took me through the steps. We would train 3 times during the week. Sometimes it would just be strength training. And on the weekend, we would do long runs. It started off with 5 kilometers. And I remember that 5K, when we got to the end, I thought I would die. That's how bad my body felt. But with time, I was able to build up my strength to be able to run a 21 kilometer, such that I even started participating in the local runs that are available here in Gaborone. I can definitely say I have done the Diaco 21 several times, and I'm always glad that I took that opportunity to ask my friends to help me when I was stuck and I was able to move on. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Table Topics.
Thank you, Leya. Thank you all for your incredible reflections on resilience. Each of you shared a unique perspective of how resilience shows up in our lives. Remember, resilience is not just about surviving. It is about learning, adapting, growing stronger with every challenge. I now hand over to our timekeeper for the report on the table topics section. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And in terms of our timing for our table topics, our first speaker, Mzamo, took 1 minute 40 seconds. Bontle took 47 seconds. Sehabo took 1 minute 31 seconds. Koseho, 1 minute 27. And I took 2 minutes 20 seconds. So all within the required time for table topics. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Madam Timer and Madam Table Topic Master. Our participants showed real courage, thinking on their feet, staying calm, even pragmatic under this pressure. For me, that is resilience in action. Now it is time for us to cast our votes for the best table topic speaker. Is that ready, Madam SAA? Let's take that moment for the Toastmasters to complete and recognize our speakers.
Sorry, I realized I was muted. I'm launching the poll now.
Let's vote, 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 vote.
Sorry. Table topics, here we go. So the poll has been launched. We have about 70 seconds to respond. We're now at 55%. Once we get to 80%, nobody will close. Okay, so we just have 10 more seconds to go. Then we'll close the poll. We're already at 85. Okay. And the poll has now been closed. We reached 90%.
Thank you, Madam President, for that. For the Toastmasters, resilience is not about speaking, or not only about speaking. It is also about listening with focus and presence. To test how attentive and pragmatic we have been throughout this meeting, we have our Hack Master, Toastmaster Asalapele. Toastmaster Asalapele's role is to check how much we have picked from what have been said during this meeting. With that said, please join me welcoming our Hack Master, Toastmaster Asalapele. Toastmaster Asalapele, ready for us?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmasters. Good evening again, colleagues and guests. All right, so I've prepared a few questions. Colleagues, make sure that you unmute yourself so that we don't get a delay in between I asking the questions and you answering. My first question is, what was the last thing? Oh, sorry. What was the most recent thing that Chandada did? The most recent new thing that Chandada did?
Dancing. I think she said salsa dancing.
Salsa dancing.
Yes, yes. And what did she challenge us with? At the end of her speech, she challenged us.
To do something new, to begin something, to start
Correct.
something new.
Correct. What was Bontle Dickson's topic? Or title, sorry. What was her title? What is the title of Bontle Dickson's speech?
As long as you don't put your hands down, there will be victory.
We are reading it somewhere.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sound like a starring now.
And who was the main character in her speech, and what did she gain from not putting her hands down?
Anna.
Yeah.
Baby. Anna and the baby.
Which baby? Like
She got
anything
blessed with
specific about?
she got blessed with a bambino. because she couldn't get her hands off her man, and then she was blessed with the baby.
Yeah, more like a prophet baby. I think the important part is the baby was a prophet, the great prophet. Yeah. All right. Leya, so on her first day of giving a speech at Toastmasters, Leya was so scared that she did something out of the ordinary. What did she do which was not normal for her?
She changed her shoes.
Flats.
Yes.
She went to
Yeah.
work with a pair of sandals.
Yes, she did. In her speech, she mentioned at least 2 Greek philosophers. Do we remember who those were?
Socrates, one.
And Epictetus.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So Sakhabo told us about an experience she had at 7 years old. How did she say she managed to get over her fear, or rather get the courage to get over being scared of dogs?
Gave them same name.
She took a step to the outside of the house and called the dogs to her.
When there was no one home.
When there was no one home, yes.
Correct.
Back when you could leave children alone. Nowadays you can't. Safe.
Yeah.
Correct. And Leya talked about her experience of running. What did she say she struggled with, or rather, what did she say she built up from to where she is now in terms of her running skill?
5
She
kilometers.
used to not
so
run. She used
21.
to laugh at people who were running. But recently, last year, she ran the 21-kilometer Dakar race.
Yeah.
Because her BMI was terrible.
She's going to run Congress next
Her
year.
BMI was high, and she
Yeah.
also seeked advice from her friend who was an avid road runner.
Wow.
Awesome. The very last one. So when the meeting started, our Toastmasters of the day didn't have his screen on, and he told us that he had a traffic issue. Where did he say he was having these issues at? What specific? He mentioned 2 specific places.
Centurion.
Centurion.
Can you say that again?
He said Sentin, although we know that it was in Alexander.
Yeah.
Same place,
Yeah, correct. Centurion and Centurion. That's all from me. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mr. Toastmasters of the day.
Thank you so much, Madam Hackmaster. Yes, indeed, I was next to Alexandra. Fellow Toastmasters, we're getting to a very important segment of our meeting, evaluations. In Toastmasters, we believe that feedback is the fertilizer of growth. Just as the fertilizer helps grow plants stronger, feedback helps us as speakers, leaders, to build resilience and improve with every attempt. That is why this segment is so important. It turns effort into progress. And to lead us through this session, we have our General Evaluator, Madam Leya Musunga. Calm, steady, and pragmatic, Madam General Evaluator will guide us in reflecting on today's meeting and show us how we can rise stronger as individuals and as the club. With that said, please welcome me in joining our Madam General Evaluator, Madam President Leya Musunga.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. And you have basically even introduced my role as what happens in this session. It's an opportunity for our speakers to receive feedback from their speeches. As one evaluator stated, they're evaluating speech and not necessarily the speaker. And the other good thing is that for other people who are not presenting speeches today, this is also an opportunity for you to learn, so that when you do come to present your speech, at least you'll pick up on some of these feedback so that it can help you in your own speech. So without further ado, I'd like to invite our first evaluator, Sahabo, who was evaluating our first speaker, Chandada, to please give us the evaluation. Over to you, Sahabo.
Thank you so much, Leah. Good evening, all. I had the pleasure of evaluating Chandada. Well done, Chandada, on giving your inspiring speech. I understood the purpose, which was to inspire, before we could even discuss it. So that is what's going to bring me to the first thing that you excelled at. Your speech objective was met. You inspired me to get back on the speech-giving horse next week. And the second thing you excelled at is, despite being seated, you use your hands to drive home certain words like quotation marks and unlocking possibilities. Thirdly, you use the word of the day, not only once, but a couple of times. And that is a wonderful feat. Ever since I've joined Toastmasters, I don't think I've seen anybody use the word of the day that frequently. Two things you may want to work on are your eye contact. I was having a difficult time seeing where your eyes were, which may be a function of the lighting. And so I wasn't able to sort of come in and be engaged with your speech. So next time, maybe improve on the lighting so we can see the whites of your eyes and see your reactions as you give your speech. And the second thing is that I understand that you aren't feeling well. We did speak about this, and kudos to you for powering through, but endeavor to always give your speeches while standing. It gives you an opportunity to move around and also make some more visual interest for us. And the one area to challenge yourself is using vocal variety, which perfectly dovetails with your next project. I believe you're on the dynamic leadership pathway. And so this will be a great opportunity for you to use more pitch, tone, the pace, the speed in which you speak, and the tone which you use. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to give you feedback, and good luck on your journey and your pathway. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator. Good evening, all.
Thank you so much for that, Sahabo. And indeed, you were able to share aspects and clear steps that Chandada can take to improve on her next speech. I'm just realizing I'm using lots of R's and I'm scared of the Anna counter. We'll then move on to our second evaluator, and that is Dumelo, who was evaluating Bontle this evening. Dumelo.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Please allow me to keep my screen or my video off. It's that or I don't see my notes. Good evening once again, fellow Gaborone Toastmasters, visiting Toastmasters and guests, and most especially to you, Bontle Dickson, who I had the pleasure of evaluating as you delivered your speech titled, "As long as you don't put your hands down, there will be victory." This speech was meant to be a submission for the project of vocal variety and body language. And congratulations, Bunta, on delivering that wonderful motivational speech. My evaluation will take the format of 3 things you did well, 2 things you may want to work on, and 1 way to challenge yourself. The 3 things you did well, Bunte, are that I noticed you incorporated elements of intentional body language. When you said 3 out of 5 people, you showed this with your hands to show the symbol for 3 and 5. You also said, "How I have a story to tell you," and pointed to us as the audience. This was intentional body language that drew us into your speech. Second, you incorporated storytelling. At Toastmasters, we love stories because they paint the picture and help you show these elements of both body language and vocal variety. You told us the story of Hannah from the Bible and her faith on not giving up on God and finally having a child of her own. Last, you had a call to action in your summary, meaning you followed the typical speech structure of an introduction, a body, and a conclusion which drew us to the message of your story, where you said we should keep our hands up and wait on the Lord, indeed believing or holding on to our faith. The 2 things I think you may want to work on, however, are unintentional body language. I noticed that not all your hand gestures were purposeful. Sometimes you clasped your hands in front of you, or you held them up to your face, not always communicating with what you were trying to relay. The second thing I think you may want to work on is the element of vocal variety. Vocal variety is loaded in that it has tone, pitch, volume, and speed, all of which are elements you can incorporate during your speech. I noticed that your speech was held or delivered in quite a monotonous tone. Therefore, be cognizant of vocal variety. One way to challenge yourself would be to incorporate speech so that you can practice the vocal variety. If you deliver a story and there are characters in the story that could say something, take that as an opportunity to practice all the elements of vocal variety being tone, pitch, volume, and speed. In summary, Bontle, congratulations on delivering your third speech at Toastmasters. The three things you did well are that you incorporated elements of intentional body language, you told a story, and you had a call to action. The two things you may want to work on, however, are the unintentional body language and vocal variety as a whole. One way to challenge yourself would be to incorporate speech or speech quotations in your stories so that you can use vocal variety. Thank you. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Tumelo, for that. And indeed, you have provided quite a lot of information for Bontle, and I'm sure she'll be able to apply that for her next speech. We'll then move on to the evaluation for our last speaker, myself, done by Muzamo.
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, with special greetings to you, Leya. Thank you very much for encouraging us on your pathway, which met all the needs for this particular pathway. Let me get to the comments and your evaluation. Well, you are an exceptional speaker, Leya. There's no two ways about it. Your speech captured our attention from the word go when you greeted us, and then when you brought us into your speech by saying, think of the great leader. And for that couple of seconds, we were engaged in our own bodies, on our own minds, thinking of the greatest leaders that we've had. It was a very thoughtfully crafted message, and you inspired us through a personal yet compassionate story when you were a treasurer at church. You delivered with a clear and well-projected voice. I cannot falter you on your voice, on your vocal variety. And I also appreciated the conclusion because you brought us and you gave us a call to action by thinking of three things. You said, start small, listen to learn, not to respond, do the work and be prepared, which is something meaningful for us to take home. Despite your naturally phlegmatic calmness, you rose to the challenge by standing confidently and using those hand gestures perfectly, timely, and obviously we all know your smile, your dazzling, warm smile that adds like a touch into your speech. Since I was looking for something to falter you on, I could see that you were visiting your notes on the side, but that didn't take away the fact that you were engaging us as well. So many people, I believe that a lot of people did not even notice that. And one thing that maybe you can challenge yourself on, because using the word of the day is actually showing us how flexible you are as a speaker, so that please, next time, make sure that you do use the word of the day. Otherwise, I was going to give you 10 out of 10. Right now, I'm giving you 9.5 out of 10. Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Nzamo, for that evaluation. Yes, indeed, very good notes that have been shared. We'll definitely make sure to improve on that. At this point, I would like to call our grammarian to please come and give us the grammarian report. Tumelo, I think, yes. Tumelo? Oh, I think she's been load shedded. Okay, it looks like we have lost Tumelo. And then I'll call the counter, Khalaletsa. If you could please give us the counter report. I think Tumelo will come back and give us the grammarian report. Khalaletsa, could you give us the counter report? Hello, Khalaletsa. Okay. Oh, there we go.
I was struggling to unmute. Yeah, so good evening again. I was the counter, and the speakers were calm, and they were composed, embodying a phlegmatic demeanor that was complemented by the inspiring speeches. And then over to the counts, Chandada, she used twice. Bontle, for most of the time, there was internet connectivity issues, therefore I couldn't pick any filler words. Leya, she used basically twice, and laughter was used as a filler word or for pausing. And then Josego used once, and then Nzamo used a twice. Thank you. Over to you, Leya.
Khalaletsa. Then I would like to invite Tumelo to please give us the grammarian report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Tonight as grammarian, I noted that most, if not all, our speakers used the English language correctly. I didn't have anything to police per se, but I did note that there were impressive uses of the English language, such as sheer panic, which actually is gripping and you can almost taste it or see it. There was also a sinking pit in my stomach, which was specifically, or what's the word? There I go, failing at the English language. But it was very descriptive as to the feeling that Sakabo had. And we had other sayings or quotes from Greek mythologists such as Socrates, and these names are hard. Epictetus, yes, that one. But otherwise, I'd like to commend everyone on the use of the English language. The word of the day was phlegmatic, which Chanda used 8 times. Bontle used 5 times. Our Toastmaster of the day used it 3 times. At times, I couldn't tell whether he said phlegmatic or pragmatic, so that was a bit confusing. Our arm counter just used it now. I also noted that the theme of the day, resilience in action, was incorporated quite a lot in our speeches, and synonyms for the word resilience were used, such as strength, toughness, adaptability, and many other forms or variations of the word. I just wanted to make mention of the correct or pay homage to Sekabo, who incorporated Setswana but immediately gave the translation, which is what we need when such occurs, because not all our audiences may speak our native language. So I just wanted to say, if you do use Setswana, please offer a translation so that the rest of your audience is brought up to speed. Otherwise, I commend you on both the correct use of the English language and the word of the day. The word of the day is meant to improve our vocabulary. Therefore, I implore you to continue to incorporate the word phlegmatic in your everyday use of the word. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Tumelo, for that. And I just realized we didn't launch the call for best evaluator. So as I'll be giving the general evaluator report, I am launching the best evaluator poll. While you are voting, I will present my general evaluation report. So in terms of, sorry, apologies. Trying to blur my background. So in terms of our meeting today, so meeting room was opened in good time to give people the opportunity to log in, test their video, test their audio. And at 6 o'clock, the meeting did start, which was introduced by myself. And we did engage with some of the guests at the beginning as we were waiting for our Toastmaster of the day to join the meeting. And as soon as he joined, he steered the meeting really well. So great having you today, Toastmaster of the day. I liked the way that you just had so much energy for the meeting and encouraged people to celebrate the speakers after they had finished. And you also did offer some sort of summary once the speakers had presented their speeches, which clearly showed that you were also paying attention to the speakers as they presented. Our table topic session was done with words that people had to choose, so it's a great way to engage the audience. And the questions were not too difficult because people were able to respond, and it was a great way to learn something more from our speakers today. And all the way through to our Hackmaster session, which was interesting, another way of just trying to see how well our audience is actually paying attention to the speakers. And clearly, because people were able to respond, it shows that people were fully engaged in the meeting today. Well done to all our evaluators for the meeting. Gave very constructive feedback to our speakers. Very practical information was shared with our speakers that will definitely help our speakers grow in their follow-up speeches. Our agenda initially did have, I think it started off with 5 speakers, then it went to 4, and by the time the meeting started, we ended up with 3 speakers. Then that just shows why it's always important to have a lot of speakers on the agenda, because people do face technical challenges and many other things might crop up right at the last minute, and that may reduce the number of speakers. So I would say, well done, Gaborone Toastmasters. We always said meetings should have minimum 3 speakers, and at least we had minimum speakers, 3 speakers, despite challenges from our speakers today due to technical issues that were faced. And as I can see we have even saved quite a lot of time, so this is quite good. But I would just like to say well done to all the people who were presenting today, people who were able to come to the virtual stage, whether it's to do a table topic, and to our speakers today. I think Bontle, we haven't seen Bontle on the virtual stage for a while, but great to see her coming back and presenting the speech. With that being said, I think I'll end there as the general evaluator. Oh, also love the fact that the word of the day was shared in the chat. That was great. I think I'll end there as the general evaluator and hand back to our Toastmaster of the day for the final remarks before we conclude our meeting for today. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Madam GE. Fellow Toastmasters, thank you for giving me this opportunity today to be your Toastmaster of the evening. I had a great time here, and I would like to see this resilience going forward. And looking forward, Toastmaster Leya, to see Gaborone Toastmasters in the Hall of Fame. With that said, I would like to hand over to our president, Toastmaster Leya Musunga. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're sending back to me yet again. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So at this point, we did vote for best effort speaker. We voted for best table topics. We also voted for the best evaluator, which is a poll that just ended now. So I'm going to share those results. Just give me a moment so I can share my screen. So if we can put the drum roll. Okay, let me just get into it. So, oh goodness, okay. All right, so in terms of our recognition, so best evaluator, it was actually a tie this evening. So we had Sahabo, well done, best evaluator, and Mzamo, well done, well done. And then best table topics. Did I even write? Apologies. Let me just double check if I had written for best evaluator. I don't remember if I'd corrected. Oh, I did. Okay. Okay, sorry, apologies. So the best table topics for the evening based on your vote was Leya Musunga. Okay. And then the best effort speaker of the night based on your votes was Chandada. Ooh, well done, Chandada. Well done, well done. And then obviously we always want to say thank you to people who visit and help us. Today we had none other than our Toastmaster of the day. Thank you. This is a certificate of appreciation. And we also had an evaluator, Mzamo Mankanazi. Thank you so much for taking up a role this evening. Want to request, please, 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 if you could fill in the emissary link. I hope that can be shared, or we'll share it on the WhatsApp for you to just fill in that to help us grow as a club. And this week, we will just also want to welcome 2 new members to our club, Ufense and Loaho. I think some of the posters have been shared in our WhatsApp, but we had 2 new members join us. So welcome to Gaborone Toastmasters. We're definitely looking forward to them presenting. I think Ufense has already presented Icebreaker over the weekend at Gaborone Breakfast Club. So you are free to visit other clubs and present speeches there. It still counts towards our club. And then I think 2 more announcements to make is because of our new members and you guys completing your levels. Currently, our club is sitting at having achieved 6 goals. So you can see all those ticks. So this is how Toastmasters measures whether you have a healthy club. And there are 10 goals that you are supposed to achieve for your to say you are indeed a healthy club. So I've been able to achieve goal number 7 and 8, which deals with membership. So I've had 9 new members who've either renewed or reinstated their membership. And we have had, in terms of educational, so when people are presenting speeches today, that's 6 goals. So I've been able to achieve goal number 1, which is 4 level 1s being completed. I've achieved goal number 5 and 6, which is 4 level 1, and another level 1 being completed. So we are just now waiting for level 2s and level 3s to be done, and we would have achieved all our 6 goals. And because of all this amazing work that you guys are doing as our members, these are some of the rewards that we have been able to achieve so far as a club. And this is from our district. So we've gotten 300 rands for submission of our club success plan that was done by the Club Exco or the Club Exco, all 7 of them were trained, another 300 rands voucher we have received. We've added 5 new members who have earned the Smedley Award, so another 300 rands. And because we have achieved 6 out of the 10 goals, we have earned the DCP 5 Sprint Award. So well done, Gaborone Toastmasters. They always say, alone you can do so little, but together we can do so much. And all this is only possible because we are doing this together. So excited to see all the people presenting their speeches to help us to improve, make sure we get those level 2s. One thing I can tell you, our club achieving 6 goals. We're the only club in our district, which is 110 clubs, and we've been able to achieve 6 goals so far. So we are number 1 so far. So I'm always excited about that. I always check how we are doing, how healthy is our club. So well done, Gaborone Toastmasters. You're doing so well. Second announcement is just to say renewals are ongoing. Our club is self-pay enabled, so you can just log on to the Toastmasters website and process your renewal. If we can get at least 18 of our members to renew by the end of the month, we would have been able to earn the retention award, which would be another 300 rands we're earning. So, so if you're able to renew by the end of the month, that would really be amazing. And that would mean our club being recognized yet again in the upcoming Hall of Fame that will be taking place. Normally there's one in September and there's one in May that happens. Then the club gets recognized either with trophies or recognition on social media. So like I said, renewals are ongoing. So just log on to the Toastmasters website and you would be able to renew for yourself. With that being said, at this point, I just want to have a short conversations with our guests, people who are visiting us today, just to try and find out, how did you find our meeting today? So to Malano, hello. I know you said you were visiting us today. You are a guest. I just want to find out, how did you find our meeting today? Hello? Hello, Tumalano? Or has she guessed? Yeah, Tumalano. I think I can still see you here. Okay, not yet unmute. Good evening, Victoria. Are you visiting us today as a guest? Good evening, Victoria. Okay.
I guess, but not for the first time.
Oh, all right. Okay, so you keep on coming back.
I think it's my 3rd meeting now. On my journey to being a member.
Oh, okay, that is great. Hope you can join us so we can also see you as you progress in your public speaking journey.
Thank you.
Have you been able to reach out to our Vice President of Membership?
Yes, ma'am.
Kahalero? All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I had a chat with her.
Okay, that's great. I see someone here written Kel Mole. Hello, are you a guest? Are you a visitor? Not able to unmute. All right. What about Munayadiwa Masilo? Good evening. Good evening,
Hi,
Munayadiwa.
Leah.
Hello.
Good evening. Good evening to you. Oh, sorry. Somebody's talking.
Good evening, Leah.
Good
yes,
evening.
I'm a guest to Toastmasters.
All right. Was this your first time today? Hello? Was this your first time today? Oh, she's in. Munayadiwa, good evening.
Yes, it was my first time
Good
today.
evening, Leah.
I think
There must be a problem with the, I think, yeah, it delays. All right. I think maybe if you have joined us as a guest today.
Good evening, Leya.
Oh, good evening, Mwendiwa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been meaning to speak, but the other speaker I think she's having a problem with her connection or something like that.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yes, yes. Was it your first time
Yeah.
visiting us today?
It was my very first time, and well, I've known of Toastmasters, some time back, and I've wanted to join in, and I've been, missing sessions that you guys had. So today is the first time I attend the session, but it was very interesting to see how you guys interact and the use of English language and how pragmatic each speaker was in their delivery of their speeches. I was very enthused by that, and I'm looking forward to being a member and improving my public speaking. Which is something that I'm struggling with, but I hope that with this platform or through this platform, I'll be able to conquer my fears.
All right. That's amazing. I've shared my number in the chat, so you can reach out to me since you're saying you are interested in joining, so we can share additional information so that you can also start on your public speaking skills journey. So you can just contact me there via WhatsApp. I've shared my number in the chat. So we've come to the end of our meeting today. We will be back here next week, Tuesday, as this month we were calling it our Level Up Month, as a way to help our members to level up by completing at least one level. And next week we come back so that other people who might not have had an opportunity so far to speak would be able to present their speeches. So we'll be back here online next week. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and being with us today. I know people have had some technical challenges, but looking forward to seeing you back here online. I'll stay on the call, maybe just for 5 more minutes in case you have some questions. But with that being said, good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening.